Good morning, family. I hope that you are all well. Happy Thursday. It is the 19th of December, and we're going to get straight into the chart. So, as you guys can currently see on the screen, I have got the dollar up. Before we do analyze any of the charts for today and for the rest of the week, we're going to go over a few of the calling outs, if that's what you call it, what I called out yesterday on the daily market outlook, which was Wednesday, the 18th. So let's go through it. So obviously we will talk about the dollar. And as you guys can see, we've been saying that the dollar has been in this range from this low to this high for a little while now. You can see that we've just been, basically accumulating, just building up that consolidation, building up that liquidity, and not really making a real decision to, break either side. So with that being said, we talked about the probabilities of what we think can possibly happen. Now, as you guys can see, when we come into this 1 hour demand area, we naturally had that movement up, and then we started to, fill in these 1 hour demand areas, start to move away, fill in this 1 hour demand area, we come back up. And then yesterday is the area, this is the area that we give up yesterday, this area, then we come back up and obviously mentioned it pulling back into this area. So this was a 30-minute demand area, 1 hour demand area is about there. But the 30-minute demand area worked to a T. And as you guys can see, due to the news event, we literally had, well, put it this way, you had a great chance to know that the dollar was definitely going up, because if you look at the pattern that was happening from this demand area, you'll be able to see that we was clearly in a uptrend. We even come up and then come back down into this demand candle here, and then the news shot it up. So we was clearly in that uptrend. There was no confirmation that the dollar was ever going to be heading down. As you can see, high, 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 low, high, 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 low, high, 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 low, high, high. And as I just said, we did naturally come back before the news happened. And where did we come to? We come to this last down candle that caused this break of structure, which is our 1 hour demand. And then that's where we got the full move from. And as you guys can see, we shot straight up. That leads me on to GU. Yesterday, we gave out this 1 hour demand area. Sorry, this 1 hour supply area. We was obviously talking about if the dollar is going up, then we obviously think that the other pairs that correlate will naturally go down. So GU, EU, so on and so on. So as you guys can see, we was in this range, and we naturally came up into this 1 hour supply and had that massive movement down, which was a great call out. We've now brought this 4 hour lower low. EU was exactly the same. We had this area, we was creating them clear downtrend, as you guys can see. And it's the same. We had this marked out yesterday's red line talking about if we break below this area, that's where I want to see you guys looking for position yourself, and where could we have positioned ourselves. The way you could have positioned yourself from that break is, let me show you. If you look at the trend right now, you can see that obviously we was only coming down. We broke this low at that breaker structure, and then where did we come back into? We come back into this last buy candle, which is our supply candle. We come up and then had that movement down. So as you guys can see, let's get rid of this and let's mark this out. This last candle was the perfect entry for any of you guys to basically take that trade. I didn't get in EU just because I had USD CHF marked up, so I didn't want to risk more than 1% of my account. But as you guys can see, you can follow there when we brought that low, which I said, we obviously come back up into that supply, and then that's where we had to move it from. Obviously, with it being a news event, it's a bit more riskier, but as you guys can see, you already stopped at the high. It would have been, obviously, if you would have held, of course, it would have been a big, big trade. So yeah, great trade from EU. And then pretty much the same. NU didn't come into this 15-minute supply. Did it come into this 1 hour? Not really. Would have just missed this 1 hour supply. I think AU came above my 15-minute supply. Didn't get no confirmation. Didn't get a full pullback after this break. So yeah, it wasn't pretty much it wasn't like as clean for AU, for instance, but NU was pretty much clean, but we didn't get that full pullback. We did get the break pullback. Sorry, we had the break here, and then we had that pullback, and then that's when we had the movement. Going over to GJ, you'll be able to see that we were talking yesterday about these these areas, these supply areas, it was too trendy. We were saying that we were building up this liquidity here. It was a trend line liquidity, and as you guys obviously know, that what tends to happen is, let me just try and find the actual, it's something called the Elliott wave, and it's basically talking about like the five-wave impulse. So like for instance, if you usually see a trend which has looks like this, it's called the Elliott wave. Naturally, what will happen is it is after the fifth wave, after the third impulse, the fifth wave, you are building up a trendline liquidity, and what will end up happening is the institutions will basically want to take out these highs. So if you ever see one, two, three highs together on a trend line, it will naturally be telling you guys that we could potentially see a reversal going back up. Now, with that being said, could we have positioned ourselves? Well, all week, all I've been talking about on GJ is basically the only area that we need to come back to, that we can come back to, which guess what, was this area here. And look how perfect that was. This area was invalid because we obviously tapped in there. We could have come in a bit deeper to the 50%, but I did say yesterday we're either going to come into the 50% of this, or we're going to come into the lower part here. So as you guys can see, with that reaction that we give out, it was a perfect one. We had the break into this demand area, and then obviously GJ has gone on a mad one. So if anyone's got that, huge props to you guys. If you did catch that, that would be amazing. And then going over to USD CHF, this is a trade that I caught, which I got hit out on break even. Absolutely, gutted, but it is what it is. We'll move on to the next one. But pretty simple. We were talking about it on yesterday's daily market outlook, and we basically said that this is our, higher low. This is our high. And as we were talking, as you can see during the Asian session, we was building up that liquidity. We then come in lower for London, took out these lows, and we had an institutional candle. This institutional candle broke this structure, and all we was waiting for is the market to come back in, which it did and tapped in, and then we wanted it to move up. It's hard because the reason I went to break even is because of news. I knew that it was a big news event. What I tend to wait for, just to be truthful with you, is I prefer to wait for this. So when the market, obviously we shut up, when the market tagged me in, which is this wick, I would go break even if we break this high. If we break this high, I would then go break even, because usually you'll just see this. But with it being a news event, I needed to go break even. So I went break even. And obviously, as you can see, it just come down just for the news, unnecessarily, really. And then obviously made the full move from there. So pretty gutting. If I would have held which news events I usually hold till I feel like I need to get out, would have been probably around a 1 to 7, 1 to 6. But it is what it is. It is what it is. And then USD CAD, we didn't really have much pullback yesterday, just consolidated and then shut up. But yeah, whilst we're on this call, let's actually let's mark up. Let's go from a top-down analysis and let's mark up together and see what we can see. So let's get rid of a few of these, because we now are in a fresh mind, a fresh start with this new movement up, going into the new year, going into next week. Obviously, the market's going to slow down a hell of a lot. So obviously, as you guys can see from a daily standpoint, we've had a break here. So this is now being another break. We had the pullback. So obviously, you can see from a 4-hour, we've now got this low, and from a 4-hour. From a 4-hour high, if I can bloody find it. Where's it gone? What am I doing? Jesus. And we've got a 4-hour higher high. 4-hour higher high, 4-hour higher low. So let's drop down to the 4. And you'll be able to see it's pretty clear. It's pretty precise with what we want to see happen. So yeah, this is what we can see on the dollar currently right now. So naturally, what we would like to see is obviously a minimum of 50% pullback. So if I just get this tool out from the top to the bottom, we obviously want to see 50% pullback. So this is what I'm waiting for. Now, if you're looking at trying to sell, it's very, very risky, because obviously what happens is we have this accumulation, and then we have expansion, and then naturally what's going to happen, or what's the market's going to want to happen eventually, is they want to rebalance the market to then obviously go up and carry on. I always say the market's always looking for two things. It's looking for liquidity and it's also looking to rebalance itself. Now, with this big institutional move, there will be a lot of retail volume in here, so they'll want to rebalance their own their own trades, their own move, rebalance this imbalance, and then carry on upwards. So first up that I have is obviously this candle here. This is my first block. This is my first 4-hour demand area that I'll be looking out for. Naturally, rebalance the whole market, come into around this area. That is what I'd be happy with. Now, what I was saying then is, if you are a bit riskier and you don't mind, first off, if we can break this low, and let's say you can break this one low from a 1 hour, you broke this low, then I wouldn't take this trade. I'd take the next wave. I'd be taking the second break downwards. So if you guys are like, can I get in at any sells down to this area? Wait for this first break, wait for this second break. So just to clarify, let me get rid of this and actually have it marked out. So wait for this low to be broke. And then wait for the second break. And then that's where I'd be looking at a 1 hour supply area around here. So that is something for the dollar that I'd be looking out for. Obviously, I know you're not going to sell the dollar, but we talk about the dollar as if we are trading the dollar, because it's the most important currency that we need to analyze on. That's why I spend a lot of time on the dollar. But yeah, predominantly, this is what I'd like to see, which hopefully will be the same for GU, EU, and so on and so on. Down into this area, which is around the 13,149 area. So hopefully that's what we're going to wait for. That's what I'd see for the US dollar. Nothing clear as of yet. Let's go up to the daily on GU. So as you guys can see, let's have a clear fresh start. You can see that we've got another break of structure. So we've got a new clear range, which I'm glad about as well, because we obviously like to have a fresh start. So first thing we can see, this daily candle is where the market will naturally want to come back into. So that'll be our daily supply. If we drop down to the 4, can we refer this candle? So this is our daily supply. Our 4 hour, I'd go from this wick up until this high. This will be around my 4 hour supply. Let's get rid of this because I would like to see the 4 hour supply met. Obviously, a lot of people probably watching this video say, why is that your 4 hour supply? Why not actually refine it? Well, the one thing we can do is, of course, we can use this last candle, which is what I'm saying majority of the time. Use this last candle and put it at the high. We can have that as refined. That is a better position. But one thing I want you guys to understand is obviously we don't want to miss out on moves. So with that being said, missing out on moves, you can actually have this big candle around this area anyway, because this consolidation part before this move down, that is all our supply. So yes, you can either have it like this, or if you want it refined, you can obviously have it like this. It does matter. I was gonna say it does matter, of course. But again, all we're waiting for in this area is we're waiting to see that movement off. So we're waiting for this to obviously come up, have that move off, and that break, change of character, and then obviously confirm that we can then participate on the 1 hour 15 minutes. So that is what I'm looking for GU. Pretty self-explanatory. You guys probably know this as well. Looking right now from a 1 hour perspective, I can see that we've had this break here from a 1 hour. So we've had this break here from a 1. So what does that mean? So with that 1 hour, let's just actually go down. It'd be a little bit easier. So as you guys can see, we've had this 1 hour break. So with that being said, I would like to see now, let me just get rid of this, sorry. Because as the market's trying to do now, it's trying to rebalance. It's going to rebalance hopefully up into here. If the dollar follows suit, you'll be able to see that I'd wait for a pullback. and then I try and buy up into there. So the next area, if you guys are confident enough, I would be waiting for this whole area here to buy from. If GU can be clean and nice enough for us, I would be waiting to buy from this area up into here. That is what I've been waiting for. GU to potentially come back into here and then go up into there. If we don't get that, what we might actually get is GU might do this. GU might have a little pullback, not into this area, and then create another high. And if we get that, oh, if we get that, so if GU has a nice little pullback but doesn't come into this area and we have another break, that's a double break. We've got one break and then two breaks. So then I'll be looking at least positioning myself to buy up in this area. Remember, as I always say, a double break is even more confirmation. So this is the next potential area if we don't get the pullback from here. If we have a pullback that doesn't come down, we have another break here. Then again, all you got to do is adapt and look to position yourself in a different demand zone. If it happens again and it doesn't come down, then obviously I wouldn't be going for the next wave. Remember what we've just been talking about. If we have you know, three impulsive areas, five Elliott wave, five actual impulses, then usually what will happen is the market will tend to you know, move away from there, because as you guys can see, we've got one retracement, two impulse, three retracement, which will be four, and then five. I wouldn't be looking for six and seven. I just wouldn't. Usually when we build up this, we build up a trend line from these three lines, and then from there the market likes to retrace. So that's something to just keep in mind. But yeah, GU, this is what I'm looking for. Get your alerts set. Make sure that you guys are keeping an eye on GU as well. It looks pretty clean. Let's move over to EU. EU is going to be pretty much the same. If I just go to the daily, you'll be able to see that we've obviously had that break as well. So we've got a nice clean area. Yeah, let's get rid of it all. So as you guys can clearly see, we have now a new break here. So we've got a new 4-hour break. We obviously had the break there, we had a little pullback, and now we've had this institutional move. So from a daily standpoint, this last candle is my daily demand area, supply area. So this is first thing that draws my eye. If I go down to the 4-hour, can we refine it? Can we refine it? Yes. So this last candle here would be predominantly what I'd be looking for a 4-hour. So I'm going to leave the daily up, because what we want to see happen naturally is, of course, we want to see a pullback into this area, confirmation, change of trend on the lower time frame, but also understand that what GU might do, because we've got a few highs, EU, sorry, we might just come up into here, just tap above these highs, and then get that change of trend. So that is predominantly what I'm looking for. And then currently, obviously, with EU, we've had the same thing with GU. We've had we're obviously going down. We've had a little break. We broke above this little miniature high here on the 15-minute. So you have one break, two breaks. So can we see the market for EU pull back, which it almost has done. As you can see, we had an impulse and it has almost come back into this area. So again, can we wait for the market to create a new high? If we can create a new high and then try and look for a new demand area up into these. So that is what I'm predominantly looking for. This is more cleaner than this, even though obviously I'm not expecting it to come down into here. But this, I like the look of this, whereas this is just choppy uptrend, if that makes sense. But yeah, buying up from a lower time frame, obviously, and then looking at the main sells from a 4-hour perspective. Same, let's go to NU. NU. Let's get rid of everything. So NU, we've obviously had that break, and the break is from this low. This is our 4-hour. So we drop down to the 4. We obviously have our 4-hour lower high, and then our 4-hour lower low here. 4 hour, lower low. Drop down to the 4 hour. What can we see? We can see that obviously, oh, 1 second. First thought is we want to see at least 50%. It looks pretty ugly looking at this. The whole trend down is so ugly. First thought, we obviously want to see the 50%. So the first candle that draws my eye is this these two candles here. So this last buy candle, but this one predominantly is my 4 hour supply area. So this is where I would like to see the market come into. And yeah, just basically make a move from it. It's all the same. EU, GU, NU, and AU will be the exact same. You'll be able to see that what I'm explaining for NU now will be the exact same. But yeah, this is what I'd like to see. Wait for that change of trend, and then obviously try and look for the sells down. From a 1 hour perspective, can we obviously we've had a little mini break above here. Can we get a double break from a 1 hour? And then you can participate in that. So we've had the one break. What I'm expecting NU to do essentially is go back into this candle here, which will be our 1 hour demand. Come back into this and obviously go back up. If you're not confident enough to take this, wait for another break, double break, and then that will confirm then that the market is coming up. So yeah, if you guys want to wait for a double break, feel free to do so. But from a smaller time frame, we want to looking at buying up into this 4 hour supply. So make sure that you guys are setting your alerts. You don't have to sit on the chart and watch the chart. Just set your alerts and basically get on with your day. AU will be pretty much the same. I'll do AU as the last one. But yeah, AU is going to be the exact same. It's going to be the exact same. We're going to want to see the market come into this area here, or predominantly this whole area as our demand daily supply, sorry. So we've had the break below this 4 hour, and we've got our 4 hour lower high and our 4 hour lower low. 4 hour lower low. So let's drop down to the 4 right now. And as you guys can see, we have obviously our daily, which is here. First area that we need to pay attention to is this area right here. So this is where I'd like to see a reversal from for a 4 hour. Obviously, if naturally what we want to see is this 4 hour obviously met. So we would like to see, us react from here to carry on downwards. But what can obviously happen, and what we've got to make sure that we are aware of, is that this could be used as liquidity. So we could see exactly like this. We could see the market come up, not give us that change of trend. People are, selling and they shouldn't be. Maybe go a little bit above, and then when we get that change of trend, that's when it confirms that the market will be heading down. So again, just be patient, utilize your smaller time frames. But that's what we can see right now from a 4 hour is this area predominantly that I would like to see come up into. We do have some imbalance above here, and this was a area that basically wasn't mitigated. So again, could we come deep into the retracement? We'll have to wait and see. And if this is a 4 hour sell, all we have to know is that we want to look for the buyers upwards. And if we do get them move like this and we break this trend, then you know that you need to get out your buyers and you're now looking to sell. So again, you're just flowing with the market, flowing with the market, flowing with the market. So as you guys can see, 1 hour will be the exact same. We are currently making higher highs and higher lows. We've just had a break above here from a 1 hour. So what I would like to see the market do is I would like to see the market come into this area here, and we've got some imbalance, which is always good. This 1 hour demand, and same thing as any of the other GU, NU, and EU. Buy from here, or if you're more comfortable, wait for a double break, and then that double break will give you more confidence. So this is what I'm looking for AU. Pardon me. And I think that's all pretty much going to cover because I don't want this to be too long. I can obviously go to GJ and all them lot, but let's stick to, because it's Thursday, let's just stick to AU, NU, EU, GU. I will send in these markups for GJ, USD CHF, and USD CAD for the in my Telegram. So I will do that, no problem at all. But yeah, that is pretty much what we've got for today, guys. Ooh. I work hard, man, honestly. No, I appreciate every single one of you guys who are tuned in. We have now obviously had a lot of movement, so we've got a fresh start to look at the markets, fresh eyes to look at the markets. But yeah, I appreciate every single one of you who are tuning in. If you have any questions at all, please don't hesitate in reaching out via my social media. You can find my Instagram and Telegram link in my bio on here on YouTube. But also feel free to drop a comment below, drop a like and make sure that you guys have got your notifications turned on. I've been doing this consistently and you guys can go and watch back. I give literally so much free value for anyone to make money from. That is the crazy thing. I know it's not one-to-one mentorship, but it's still a lot of value from myself and it's completely free. So make sure that you guys are utilizing it. Other than that, have a rest, have an amazing rest of your day, and God bless and take